Okay.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. I was just saying, I do apologize for joining a little bit late. We are joining in the essence of yoga parents, and our babies would not go to sleep. So they've just gone to sleep now. So we're really, really happy to be here with you all now.
Wow.
So we'll start with a little musical piece and then move on to the next section.
Please, you are welcome.
So I'll invite you now to close your eyes if you wish. And as we close our eyes and close off the sense of sight, you can begin to bring your attention inward. And allow yourself to stay really present. Feeling really deeply present in the body and with the breath. Letting any thoughts that might be present just go out as quickly as they enter. Just allow yourself to stay here in this presence for a little moment longer. Just connecting with your inner self. We spend a lot of time in our outside world, ever increasingly important to connect inward. To stay present in this silence. And keeping the mind psyche in a state of observation so that we're not judging any of the thoughts or feelings that might be present, but just purely noticing them. I'll invite you to take a deep breath in now and breathe out. And we might just come out of that by chanting the sacred sound of Om together. So I'll ask you to bring your hands into prayer position in front of the heart. And just breathing in deeply now for Om. And when you're ready, please open your eyes.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are getting...
Thank you very much.
Panditji, are we now handing over to you for a moment, or tell us what comes next?
Thank you very much. So, first of all, I would like to apologize to all those people who can't understand English. And today we're going to present all those program in English. But at the end, we will summarize and we'll try to share something what Tara and Ashish is sharing you. And at the next session, we'll have a inspirational journey. Tara and Ashish will share us how they transform themselves being as a Westerners, how they are following the yoga and meditation and all those spiritual connection with food and everything. Maybe Tara will greet us in Nepali, maybe a couple of few words. So she's in Nepal, so I think she's in half Nepali and half Aussie. And Ashish also the same thing. So it's wonderful to know. So as the host already gave me the subject for the human happiness, I'd like to go through a couple of minutes for this one. And then we'll come back the end of the journey of session. Thank you very much. Namaskar. सबैभन्दा पहिला म तपाईहरु सबै समक्ष माफी मान चाहन्छु। आजको कार्यक्रम हाम्रो अंग्रेजीमा हुनेछ, तर पनि अध्यात्मको भाषा कुनै एउटा त्यस्तो भाषामा हुने छैन। अध्यात्मको एउटै भाषा हुनेछ, हृदयको भाषा एउटै हुन्छ र हामी फेरि त्यसलाई पुनर्व्याख्या अथवा सारांशमा ल्याउने नै छौं। तर अहिलेलाई भने म फेरि आजको यो कार्यक्रम पुनः अंग्रेजीमै सञ्चालन गर्नको लागि अथवा प्रस्तुत गर्नको लागि अनुमति चाहन्छु। Thank you very much everyone for participating and coming and joining in this regular satsang. And today is the topic the host has given me, the human happiness. happiness? How can we manage our happiness? And obviously in this world, more than 7 billion people, all are not only the people, all the animals, all the beings, they are searching for the word and the feelings of happiness. Just smile, everyone, and connect yourself in heart. When you smile, then when you smile, you will see that some vibe and happiness. So happiness obviously is like a torch light. When you open the light goes other side, opposite side, but the light came inside. In the same way, the happiness is the light of our heart. When our heart is not happy, we cannot see any happiness anywhere else. That's why the searching direction. The first of all, I would like to say that the first thing for happiness, I would like to say that how can we achieve the happiness? Or how can we achieve our goals, success, everything? But happiness is within us, in our heart. It is dwelling inside us. So when you know the sacred practice, then obviously we are happy. Now, I would like to talk about the Vedic philosophy. In Vedic philosophy, it says like, you will be happy when you get rid of three sufferings. What are the three sufferings? When you find out those three sufferings and you practice, you definitely reach in that point of happiness. And it starts from here. It starts from here. Happiness starts from the smile. When you smile, you are giving vibe, the positivity, and the beautiful wavelength with the other people. So first thing. And secondly, when we based on the philosophy, the first thing is adhyatmic. So when you have a suffering, adhyatmic, adi bhautik, adi daivik. So it means like we have got the suffering for three types of suffering. First things is our bodily or mental sufferings. So when we get rid of our mental and bodily sufferings, then we will be free from the sufferings and we'll get the happiness. Secondly, it explained that, so when you get, in my experience also, when you are suffering from the other living beings, that is the adi bhautik. So that is means like the material world, from suffering from the material world. And third is that the daivik. So adi daivik, that means like a natural disaster or anything that is not in human hand, beyond the human hand, like at this time you can say landslide or flood and any earthquake, like these things. So in this manner, I would like to talk about in this short session. So what I would like to say that first things, when we have to happy, the first thing is cessation of comparison. In this world, many people, they lose their happiness when they see something, some material, some success, some other person's achievement, and any goal that when you start to compare, then you feel sufferings in your heart. So that's why it is saying that is it wrong to compare? No, you can definitely compare. We can compare, but this is for inspiration. So when somebody is driving good car or having a good life, so that means like obviously you can find some inspiration for him, not becoming comparison and feeling inferiority. So that's why the first thing is not only for official and professional level, everywhere, when we practice day to day, not to compare yourself, not to compare ourselves, as we are the unique being of this universe. We have got the capacity. That is the universal gift with us. We are the unique. When you remind that, as like auto suggestion, you are unique. I'm unique, and everyone is unique. When you have got the uniqueness, how can we be compared with other people? So that's why. So we always need to, first thing in this world, we need to learn and practice that. This is not only worldly happiness. When every day, for example, when you see your neighbor, next door neighbor, buying a new car or expensive car, some sort of pinch comes in your mind. If that is sort of a pinch or any suffering came, in that time you practice, oh, this is the attachment. So I'm not supposed to lose my happiness. Or when I see those progress, those things, then better I need to inspire. At least somebody is progressing and somebody is going in his prosperous life. We can just inspire ourselves. I also can do it. but not with jealous or an ego or anything. So first things, cessation of comparison. When we practice everyday life, so definitely we will minimize our suffering and we'll achieve the goal, the happiness, obviously. And everywhere in this world, it's a hard, it's a tough, but it is saying that train your mind to see a good things in all situations. When you practice and practice and practice, obviously, we will train our mind. Our mind is like an animal, like a baby. So more you train, more you will make your side in your side. So that's why the first things in this world, so we can practice not comparison and feeling that inferior. You are inferior. Sometimes people think, so I'm not educated, not I have got the highest degree, or I have got the proper education or prosperity or property. So these are the things comes. But when you compare, we should not compare the material things. It comes here and goes here. That doesn't long last. That doesn't last forever. So we need to, when we have to invest, we need to invest time for our brain. Our that brain timing, the investing time for ourselves means like is investing for our meditation, investing for our good vibration or satsang, positive energy, like we are sharing now, investing time for going to nature or exploring something. So these are the things, the first things we can work out in our life. And I think in my life also, so I've been doing a lot, and then I think I can now sleep well and wake up well. So, and what are the parameters? What are the indicators of happiness? So sometimes people see when you have a nice clothing, or you are handsome or beauty. Is this the indicator? No. So you can check, you can examine on your own. If you can sleep timely and without taking any forceful environment, and if you wake up with inspiration, with you wake up with without alarm, or and you can move ahead with a zeal and with some motivation, some motive, definitely you can see that in your life is going well. And not only that, when you see somebody is doing progress, if you see, oh, there is something I'm missing, when you feel that sort of thing or pain, then you need to work out. When you see, oh, it's okay sometimes, because I'm the unique, so people are different in this universe, so I cannot compare with anyone. When this sort of feelings come in our mind, then we will see we are going towards the happiness, obviously. Second thing is that so what I can do is when you want to be free from your adhyatmic sukha, so that means like when you want to be free from the mental suffering, the first thing we need to work out. Our sages, our ancient sages, the Himalayan kingdom, Nepal, so many sages, many saints, many philosophers, they have already given the formula for life, what to eat in what season, what to wear in what season, what to say and how to eat, how to assemble the happiness and how to live life. It has got a long practice. So according to Ayurveda as well, the first thing, when you know your body type, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the energy of your body, your element of your body, water energy, fire energy, earth energy, sky energy, what sort of energy is dominating your body. When you know those things, then you will find the food, that sort of food. And then when you discover the food, your body type food, then your body will function properly. When your body functions properly, and then you can start having the sattvic food. And that means like the food is not from violence, not from tear, not from sufferings. When you start to eat that sort of food, slowly your mind will be free and you start to relax. And slowly when your body relax, then slowly it gives the information to your mind as well. So you are relaxed, you are all right. When you fix your diet, when you fix your diet pattern, slowly we can change our thought pattern. And thought, it is saying that in 24 hours more than 60,000 thoughts comes in our mind. So when we practice that day-to-day basis with the good food, and then after that it is saying that ahar bihar pratyahar, When you have the first thing is food. No matter we are what we eat. So no matter the more philosophy, you are practicing yoga, meditation, or practicing a lot of spiritual activity, but still we are, if we are not transforming our diet pattern, if we are not living up what food is not good for our body, then still we need to struggle. That's why we are what you eat. First things that in happiness definitely comes, it is because of in our behavior. And when we change our this food and diet pattern, then slowly we can change our thought pattern as well, because good food, good mood. So when you have a good food, obviously you will have a good mood. And then slowly how you nurture your body, and the same way we need to nurture our mind as well. How can we nurture? The first thing is nurturing our mind is that we need to be a more active in our life. When you practice yoga or meditation or any physical activities, then we can supply endorphin and dopamine in our body, and our body will notice that this is time to happiness. And even not to that, our program, our brain is so connected with our body that it is saying that in mind science, if you move your skin of your cheek, even you move, even you are not smiling, and even you are not that much happy, but still you can move your skin of your cheek, the mind will start to happy. It will start to release the dopamine back, because it will think that we are connected, and this person is happy because it started to laugh because the skin is moving. So that's sort of connection with us. So that's why practicing every day the positive things is necessary and essential. And it is saying that no matter what you do, the happiness, the terms of that happiness is different. Sometimes when people sell house, the seller is happy because the house is sold, and the buyer is happy because he able to buy the house. So there is two different things. One is happy with the selling, and another is happy with buying. Look at this. When you go to coffee shop, cafe, when you buy coffee, you are happy. In your hand there is a coffee. The seller is happy because he's able to sell the coffee. So same thing, the subject is same, but that is a state of mind, what you're doing. And that's why the happiness is a state of mind. Obviously, for this one, we need to change our life pattern, and you can go with the flow, and we can go without any forceful effort. We can practice our happiness day-to-day practice. And it is saying that whenever the situation comes, so we need to learn let go. When we say the let go, sometimes people say, why we have to say let go? So we need to hold, we deserve it. But when we hold, more you connect, and more you will have a connection and the sufferings. So that's why it is saying that in Upanishad, that is the Vedanta. So it is saying that in Isavasya Upanishad, it says like tena tektena bhunjita kasya swedanam magrida kasya swedanam. That means whoever able to give up, whoever can give, then he will enjoy the life. So if you able to give, then you will enjoy the life. So what sort of contrast, isn't it? So it doesn't say like if you connect, if you collect, you will be happy. It is saying that more you able to give up, and then more you will be happy. Such a wonderful example, isn't it? So that's why in Bhagavad Gita also it says like more you have a control of your mind, you will be happy. Mana eva manusyanam karanam bandham mokshayo. So that means a balance of your state of your mind is a happiness. So that means life in this world, the earth is in balance because of the gravitational force, and the human start to in balance when baby start to walk in year 2. From that time he start to balance in our life. We are able to balance in yoga also. We're trying to balance our body. What if our mind? So that's why whatever situation comes in our life, if we practice balance in diet, balance in sleeping, balance in work, balance in everything, balance in material, balance in physical. So that balance will bring definitely happiness. And that balance, how come this sense of balance? The sense of balance will come through the good food, meditation, and practice spiritual practice. no matter how good we are for social service, but still we will have that sensational desire, and we cannot control our sensational desire. So that's why the first thing is balancing our body, balancing our mind is the key reason of our happiness. That's why it is saying that whatever situation comes, if you have that balancing mood, you can happy. For example, many of our friends are now from Nepal. They are from some of them are from the Tarai belt as well. This time there is a summer, and very there might be they are feeling very heat. But in this time, when they say that, oh, this is the summer, so it's very hard to sit for a longer time. It's a sweating. So they can say, oh, this is the suffering or kind of, if we see the other side. But in other side, oh, this is good. We are listening satsang and also sweating. That means like we are burning our calories. There is a both side positivity. So we still lose our weight as well and gaining the knowledge as well. What a wonderful time. So in the same way, one person might be suffering there and another is enjoying. So this is the state of life. The world also, in this world also, we can enjoy with the feeling of balance of our life. That's why change the changeable, accept the unchangeable. If we can change something, we can change. If you cannot change, just accept it, the acceptance. The meditation will teach us and give emphasis of level of patience. And the level of patience increase us towards the happiness, obviously. That's why happiness doesn't come in with the one word or one thing or achieving anything. So no matter how rich we are, no matter in what position we reach, the first thing, if our mind, if our lifestyle not in balance, if our thoughts and if our daily activities is not in balance, we will not be happy. We might be successful in certain cause or certain subject, but that will not be the entirely happiness and success. That's why in this planet, we just need to think that the one thing in the Ashtavakra Gita, so it says like, so what is the formula of happiness? That is a king and so saint as well, king and saint, and also his renunciation, and he is not attached with any material things. Such a wonderful lessons we can learn from here. A king, he has got the kingdom, but he's not attached. So that's why many people, many sages used to went his palace to learn the attachment, vairagya. So that's why he asked to his guru, his masters, what is the formula of happiness? So this happiness talks came from the eras and eras. It has been talked, research. There is one project in United States that project is still running. It says like 75-year-old project to research the happiness. And the research, by the way, the finding of the research, this year's finding is, it says like, the more people connect with relationship or friends, family member, more they will be happy. More they accept the merit and demerit of those partners, parents, or family members, more they are happy. They have given that finding. Anyway, so I'm going to continue the Ashtavakra Gita's that formula of happiness. The King Janak asked to the Guru Ashtavakra, so what's the formula of the happiness? What's the secret? And the Ashtavakra says, you just need to think all the time that you are temporary. When you bring that one word in your mind, in all situations, you will get the happiness. And how come it will get happiness? When I remember it's temporary, because he told that when you know that this world is temporary, then you will not do any difficult, any harmful things, any sinful things. You will control yourself, and you will think that, oh, today, so our life is uncertain. It might be only for today, or maybe till tomorrow, or maybe 20 years, maybe next 20 years. So it is uncertain, but the uncertain is beauty. When there is uncertain, then you have chance to prepare from today. And also it says that when I will enjoy, so then I don't have time to enjoy in my life. And the Guru said, don't worry, you can enjoy your life in full way, fullest way. just one day earlier of your death. And he asks, how do we know that tomorrow is death and I can enjoy today? And he said, like, just think that tomorrow is you're going to die and celebrate today. And tomorrow also, just think that tomorrow you're going to die and just celebrate today. So that way, every day you can celebrate your life and you will remain happy. Just feel that we are temporary. We are just as like a guest in a guest house in this world. So just don't forget your origin, where you came from this supreme conscious power, and practice and balance. Don't focus and spend your all energy just for temporary material in this world. Just remain in balance, practice and connect with the spiritual sources, connect with the positive energy, vibe, satsang like this. So definitely we will have happy. And in this world, just one thing is there is the happiest person in this world in Nepal. So just recently it was I think the Guinness Book of the World Record also, they put a name also, who is meditating in Nepal. He is the happiest person in this world. Obviously, maybe among us also, we are the happiest person because we haven't went there in the competition and comparison. But anyway, that means like those who is in balance in life for everything. When you know these things, obviously we are happy. And in next session we'll definitely talk more. And so thank you very much listening. And now we have got the much awaited guest, Tara and Ashish. And Tara, I know Tara for a longer time, and she has been in Nepal as well, and she's here to share with us to how she is able to transform herself. It's hard, even though people brought up in Vedic culture, they are finding hard to give up the vegetarian, to follow the vegetarian meal, practice yoga. But she and he, the Ashish, they already able to, not only able to in this level, they are doing really wonderful things. And I would like to request you to share your success spiritual journey. Thank you. Welcome. Now this floor is yours, Tara and Ashish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Panditji. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
You asked me to give a greeting in Nepali. Namaste. Veroram Paraho. Ma ara Nepali, ara Australian ho. Is that right? So thank you, Panditji, for that beautiful, inspirational talk. I think you're one of the most joyous and inspirational people that I know. So it's really lovely to hear you speak. So we've been asked to talk today in this satsang just to share our experience and our story of, as Panditji mentioned, growing up in Western society and then coming to yoga. And yeah, just sharing our experience of that. So what we'll do is we're going to start, I'll just give we're going to start with a little brief introduction of our lives and how our lives traveled and how we came into discovering yoga. And then have a little chat, as Panditji mentioned, about vegetarianism and our experience of that. And then Ashish would like to share a little bit about, or both of us actually, both of us will share a little bit about our experience of the impact of yoga and meditation on our lives as householders, as parents, as working people in society, and how yoga and meditation has had an effect on the way we live in our lives. So yeah, I'll let Ashish do an intro on our upbringing and how we came to find yoga.
So Tara's and my experiences are slightly different. I was born in Fiji but came to Australia when I was 4. So most of my life is spent here. And so, but born in a very simple, traditional Hindu upbringing, nothing different in any way, shape or form, you know. And so the concept of God was always there, and vegetarianism in that component was only when, you know, there were religious events on, But in my mid-20s, I personally started to ask some questions, and that was, what is this concept of happiness?
Mhm.
Why are some people happy? Why are some people feeling pain or misery? Why do people think differently? You know, we can have, 2, 3 siblings in the same family, and everyone thinks differently. Everyone behaves differently. So these questions were there, and my mind was not satisfied with the answer religiously, and I needed something more. And for me, it came very fast because my guru had come to Australia and from in South India in Hyderabad. And from there, that journey started, and the idea of meditation was brought in very early. And that is the simple understanding that your mind is your life. Your mind, the way you think, the way you behave, is your life. And for me, vegetarianism came very fast. And, Panditji would, I'm sure he said, something predetermined in destiny, because we were brought up with eating meat and so forth. But the time came when I thought, this isn't right. Why should I benefit from a living creature dying, which has the same Atman, the same soul that we all share? And so vegetarianism was overnight for me, and made that decision that meat will not be part of my living, and adopted the yogic path, which included meditation, yoga. And that's how I actually met Taraji. See, we met at a yoga ashram many years, and Tara was in her 20s as well. And I recall Tara, because I was traveling at this stage. I've been doing meditation for a few years, and I was traveling to different parts of Australia teaching meditation. Tara is originally from Melbourne, which is a different state from where Sydney is. And so there, Tara was, and her mother as well, were looking on the journey and learning about yoga, meditation, and so forth. And that's where our paths had crossed. And, the rest is history, because we're here now and we have children downstairs sleeping. But, the journey of yoga comes from inside, comes from before you're even born. And when we discover that, and you discover it you don't think of that when you're doing it, you think of it when you've gone past and you look back and go, all these things were destined. Whether you're vegetarian or you decide to change to vegetarianism, whether you adopt a yogic path, is a destined path. Why? Because in the past life, Pichle Janam mein, you play these different lives and you cultivate the world of spirituality, many lives, to become where we're sitting here and we're having this discussion and in this satsang, is because of the divine power. And the biggest teaching for us in our family existence is, and to teach our children, that the God and the consciousness is within us. The Atman is within us. It's not outside. In religious terms, when you're growing up, with the different murtis and different gods and goddesses, you have this concept, the idea that God is outside and you are worshipping God in an external manner. But the Atman, the Paratman, everything is within us, in our hearts. And that journey with children, without children, and you can actually see it in our children, because when they are born, they are living God, because they don't know Their mind is not developed. There is no concept, idea that I exist. They have no idea that they exist. There's consciousness just playing. Like, the Krishna, the baby Krishna. Cheeky little Krishna. What are they doing? They're just sharing. There's no motivation. They don't want to get anything out of something. As adults, we go, I want something. What am I going to get in return? The karma, we want something. Cause, and there's an effect. The nishkam karma, the idea of selflessness doesn't come till afterwards. And the journey for us as parents is that, because with children you have to give everything up, don't we? Your idea of self, which is what the yogic journey is all about, really, is transforming the idea of self, of individual to universal. It's the transformation of that mind, and that's when the Atman becomes Paratman. The Atman, the God, is already there. We don't have to create it. We don't have to bring something in. It is there. It's unraveling, and that's what's the journey, I guess, has been for myself and for Tara. I'll pass it on to Tara.
So just moving on to vegetarianism, you touched on that already, but I was similar. I grew up eating meat, and a similar kind of experience happened for me. And I was going to mention that personally in our meditation practice that we do, it's not rigid in the sense of things that must be done. There's no restrictions placed on what we eat. It's recommended to have a vegetarian lifestyle, but there's no specific restrictions. As we know, when the mind is told to do something, it then will often bounce back and say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Why? Like a small child, don't touch the red button. Yeah, they want to touch it. So a similar thing happens with our minds as well. Don't eat meat, and all of a sudden all you want to eat is meat, perhaps. So there's no restrictions placed, but the recommendation is practice. Do the practice, and then everything will happen then itself. The natural flow on will be that you have no desire to eat meat. And I had a similar experience as to Ashish, is that one day I had noticed, it was not so much of a desire, but I couldn't have fathomed the fact of eating meat anymore. And there was never a thought of it afterwards. It wasn't that I was ever tempted ever again. So we eat vegetarian food and raise our children vegetarian, and try to live with Ayurvedic principles as much as we can, and bring that in to our, to try and guide our children in that way as well. So that's been, I was going to say, and then the impact of vegetarianism for us personally is that we both felt much lighter mentally and physically. We both, our weight stabilized when we both became vegetarian. And mentally it was certainly a sense of lightness there. So, but it's a real blessing to have found the yogic pathway, or to have the yogic pathway come to our lives, that we then have come to this place. So something else, the next sort of part that we wanted to speak about in terms of being yogis in this modern world is, I guess our point of view is framed in the sense of being parents as well. That's our children are young, they're 1 and 3, so they're still very little. So raising them has been a big part of our last few years. And something that I wanted to share was the impact that the practice of yoga over the years beforehand has had on our raising of our kids now, and the way we cope in the world. So it's as if we've been given, yoga has given us this toolkit for life. We've got, yoga gives us not just the ability to sit on our mat or move on our mat or breathe on our mat. It's not about that. I mean, it is about that, but it isn't about that at the same time. So we practice to then bring ourselves back out into the world and exist in a more peaceful way, and gives us little snippets of things that we can do in everyday life to live in a more present way, in a more peaceful existence. So personally, raising small children and having them dominate a lot of our lives for the last 4 years nearly, it's been challenging to do our practice as we did beforehand. There's no hour meditation before the children wake up. There's no, before the sun rises at the optimal time. That's just not part of our lives at the moment. And I remember writing to my guru a little while in after having our first baby and saying, oh, I can't, there's no time for meditation. What am I going to do? How am I supposed to exist in this, with this new life? And he said, don't worry about it. Just the job now is just to bring that essence of mindfulness, Sakshibhuta, presence of mind into your life. And that's been such a powerful thing to have that as a tool to bring into our life as parents, because as Ashish mentioned as well, everything is stripped away when you become a parent. So it really, yoga has given, the children have kind of been a catalyst, so have propelled us into this forced sort of like a snowball of an unsnowball, but a snowball of like catapulted into the spiritual journey even more so. So it's like, I feel like sometimes it feels like we've been, the sense of identity that we had beforehand of, I work, I do this hobby, I go walking every day, or I go for a run, or I practice this, or I do knitting, or whatever it is. All those things that we consider as our identity get taken away. And then we're forced to go, well, who am I then? And what am I doing here? And what is my true nature of self? And when everything's taken away, then we really ask these questions. And yoga has been such an invaluable tool to allow us to, or allow me personally to, in those moments when you're with the children, I can't find time to close my eyes for an hour, but I find micro moments within the day to stop and just pause and be truly present with them. Or step back if I'm feeling triggered in my mind, step back from my mind and look at what's happening and let it flow through. And that has been the biggest gift of yoga of all, because then I can try and interact in a more peaceful way with the world. So, yeah, I think that's something that's been really powerful for us as parents and as workers or people existing in the world, is that, yeah, yoga is not about what we do on the mat, but more so the gifts that it brings us to come back out into the world. So, yeah, I'll let you share your experience on that as well.
When we kind of observe the way the mind works, as Panditji mentioned before too, to observe, to witness, the Sakshibhuta, to witness the mind automatically gives you the understanding that you're not the mind, because you're watching the mind. You can look at your body, and we know the body is born and the body dies. We know that the mind we know that that's temporary. We know that mind is temporary, the way it thinks, the emotions every day, up and down, left and right. Many thoughts a second, as Panditji mentioned. Always changing, always changing. The energy in our body is always changing. Everything is always changing. Well, what stays the same? The soul. And the Atman, it doesn't suffer, it doesn't feel pain, it doesn't wake up in the morning, go, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go to work. It is unaffected. It is consciousness. It observes. Like when you go to the movies and you're watching the movie and you feel emotional by watching. But then you realize that this is just a movie. The Atman is always witnessing the life. It's neither happy nor neither sad. So in our meditation it's been a big teacher to connecting to what is within your heart, the Atman, the soul within you. So anytime you're feeling stressed or unhappy or sad or envious, we come back into our heart, our center, the Atman within. We make an assumption that the Atman is there. And what that does is it removes, what it taught us is it removed us away from the mind. Because then you can look at the mind as if it's an instrument. And the mind has its 5 sense organs that feels all the world. And through that sense organ is why we feel attachment. Same Panditji mentioned. The attachment, the desire. We create the samskara and then we keep recreating. We want more and more. But if we're able to look within your heart, if you can look within your heart and to remove yourself, separate yourself from your mind, you have the ability to control the mind rather than the mind controlling you. This is normal, no? The mind tells you, I want this, I desire this, I want this, I want this. But what if you can tell the mind? I don't think the mind will be very happy. But if you can control the mind by observing, stepping back and observing, and that's been, and this is something that anyone can do, because whether you've been practicing meditation for many years or yoga, asana or anything, is anytime observe your mind. What is the mind doing? Because if you are observing it, then you are not the mind. If you can observe something, then you are not it. Because the mind can't observe itself. The mind has the ability to observe itself. But there's one entity that can observe it, and that is the Atman, the soul within you. And that's where that true balance comes, which is the concept of yoga, is balance in all its aspects. And yes, you can enjoy things in life, as we've experienced. We can enjoy, but there's no attachment there. There isn't an attachment, but you can eat certain foods and you can experience certain things. But knowing that the mind is dualistic. In the mind has the good, that means the bad is there. If there's happiness, that means sadness is there. The only part when they cancel each other out is when we know ourselves as soul, the Atman. And then the rest. And that's been our experience through the journey of parents and journey of living in the Western world, is exactly that. Is that challenge always, every day, is to try to observe ourselves.
And re-identify ourselves, I think.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Such a wonderful sharing. It's really nice. And our host, Kamana, would like to go ahead.
Thank you very much, Tara and Ashish. I was almost lost in your words, and I liked how Tara was talking about turning into vegetarian. I personally have also tried this practice, but I failed at times. But I think now I will be learning this more from you. In the meantime, यदि कसैलाई केही प्रश्नहरू सोध्नु छ भने तपाईहरूले आचार्य राजन शर्माजी या तारा र आशिषीलाई पनि प्रश्नहरू सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ। यदि तपाईहरुसँग केही प्रश्नहरु छ भने. So if you have any questions you want to ask personally with Acharya Rajan Sharma ji and Tara and Ashish ji, you can please ask your questions if there are any.
Not, then I think it's a wonderful time. So it is saying that there are so many questions are ringing, I think, in live and YouTube now, but we don't have time to reply all of those now. Maybe next session or next time, hopefully we'll come together and then explain more. But this time is a wonderful, and as we know that all of us, we are living in this planet as a tourist for a short time. And obviously it is a wonderful time, and thank you very much for coming and sharing. So Amanda, Thomas would like to say something. You would like to share something?
Hello. I'm friends with Tara and Ashish, so thank you for welcoming me. That's been really great, and I've really loved just listening to your story. Thank you.
Great, wonderful. I think it's we need to conclude, and our technician already given us the so Kamana, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you very much, Acharya Rajan Sharma ji, for inspiring us, motivating us with your words as usual. And I really liked how you were talking. You gave us an example of a story and how everyone has been looking for that formula of happiness. On this session, we actually knew that happiness comes from acceptance, and that's what we all agree onto. Thank you very much for that. And Tara and Ashish, you both are an amazing couple. You both are doing an amazing job, and like you said, you have and still you're managing time to do all this, and we're very happy to learn about your parenting journey, your yoga journey. It's very, very inspiring, and we look forward to many more sessions with you, learn more from you. And yeah, with this, I think I would like to conclude this session on behalf of the Global Society for Peace and Spiritual Science. We were also live on Os Nepal News and Sunkoshi TV on YouTube. So this session can be watched later there too. Thank you for all the participants from Nepal who have joined us. We hope you all had something to take from this session. I had a lot of things, and I have actually pointed out so many things here. So it was a very insightful, very wonderful session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. End of the time.
Inviting us. Thank you for
Thank you.
welcoming us.
Very much. Om Namaskar. Namaskar.